Welcome to Espresso Yourself, Mom, Teacher, and Runner Talk, the podcast where lesson plans meet lattes and long runs.
We're four women juggling the journey of motherhood, teaching, personal goals, and a whole lot of caffeine.
Here, we keep it real, the messy, the meaningful, and the moments in between.
So grab your coffee and join us for honest conversations, a few laughs, and a reminder that you're not in this alone.
Welcome back to Espresso Yourself. This week, we are diving into all things Thanksgiving. Turkey trots and Black Friday, you name it. There'll be some funny stories shared. Before we get into that, let's do our weekly catch up.
So every week on my social media, I do like a Feed Up Friday post, and it started as like there was like a very negative space in education. So for me, it started with I wanted just to talk about the really positive things that were happening because we lose sight of that pretty easily in education. I mean, maybe everywhere, I don't know. But so I started doing that. Well, this week in my Feed Up Friday post, I two funny stories. And so I don't know if I mentioned it on last week's podcast, but my younger son, 4 years old, he had just started a preschool. He had been there for 4 days and he ended up getting hand, foot, and mouth. And so we had him out for that Friday and then this whole past week, which I think he was well enough to go back, but I would just want to be careful because there were infants in the building and anyhow, had to be safe. My in-laws have been so awesome and they have watched him, but I stayed home one day this week and my husband stayed home one day this week. So I stayed home on Wednesday. I went in, it was kind of like a late decision. I went in the morning and I got the subplans ready and all the deal. And then I go home and do all the things. We ran errands. We had a great time outside. It was gorgeous weather here. I come back for student council after school. I stopped by my room, get a couple of things. And after student council, before we went home, I went just to use the bathroom. And we have a bathroom in our classroom. And as I'm in there, I look down and there is this chunk of hair. I thought, oh, shoot. Someone cut their hair. And I could narrow it down. Like, it was hair that I could see. I pretty much could narrow it down to 2 students. And when I texted my team, one person was like, oh, is it this girl? And I'm like, no, she has bright blonde hair. This was dark, kind of curly. Like I could do it. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll investigate it the next day. So parents are allowed to walk their kids to the classroom, and this family, they're the sweetest. I see that the kid has like a full-on haircut. And she comes to me and she goes, he cut his hair. I was like, I wasn't here yesterday. So, she's like, no, it's okay. I knew you weren't here, but I questioned him. Where did you cut it? In the classroom? Yeah. Where's the hair? Under the table. So instead of desks in our room, we have tables. And so the mom went home and I went into the classroom and I said, honey, did you cut your hair yesterday? Yeah. And then he goes, but they did also. So I look at, there's 3 boys and 1 girl. So I look at the girl and I said, did you cut your hair? She goes, yeah, like right here. You couldn't really tell. And then I said, but they all did it too. And I said, did you cut your hair? Yeah, like right here. Okay. All right. The 4th kid, did you cut your hair? Yeah. I said, why? He goes, I just wanted a haircut. But none of these 4 kids were the one, like the hair cutting from what I saw in the bathroom. So then I had to have a conversation with the whole class. We use scissors all the time, but we only use scissors on paper. You do not cut your hair. You do not cut someone else's hair. Like none of that, please. 5 kids cut their hair while I was away for 1 day. 5 of them. What was this substitute doing? So I've come to find out, like I thought she was good. I had talked to her because I had been in writing these plans. But when I went to happy hour on Friday, there were some people who are like, oh my gosh, why? We don't even want her subbing in our building because things like this happen. She doesn't want to be there. But like earlier in the day, she had talked to me that she's going to go run a 5K. So she had sub for me before in 5th grade. She had remembered I was a runner and we had talked about that a lot. And I thought, Good. I'm so glad you're in here. Never again. Never again. And I told our principal secretary what had happened, and she goes, okay, noted. She will not be in the class. I just thought, come on, 5 of them, and these kids are tired. There's mob mentality clearly happening in my classroom. They've had 2 days off in 3 months. They need a break. But the other story that I have from this week that is funny that I know is going to come up again. We have a program called Heggerty, which I know is like it's around the country, and it's verbal. And so the first part in Heggerty is rhyming, which, and I'm like, okay, who has a word? Think about it. Then raise your hand. Who has a word that rhymes with ick? Yep.
No.
Yep. So you can imagine what word was right. So, for all the other ones, they'd be like sick, and I'd be like, okay, sick, ick. Yeah, it rhymes. Bat, ick, bat. Okay, no, that doesn't rhyme. And this kid comes up with this word that absolutely rhymes. And I had to be like, quick, think, because I wasn't going to repeat it. But he looked, so I must have said something else and oh, I couldn't hear you. Okay, thick, ick, okay, great. And I was like, and moving on. He looked at me. He's like one of the most innocent kids. He looked at me and he's like, but why didn't you say it? I'm like, okay, now we're going to go to lunch. Okay, everyone get ready for lunch. Okay, it's going to come up again when we have it. Yep. It's going to come up again. This was my first experience. I knew it was going to happen, but this was my first experience hearing that. So this coming week in kindergarten, we're going to make butter. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. Okay. Not as crazy. We're not going to be as crazy. We're just going to make butter.
We're not going to make butter and then rhyme with ick.
Not at all. No.
Let's just say it's a good thing it's kindergarten and not your 5th graders.
Oh my gosh. Then I would have done that on purpose.
Oh, for sure.
Well, why didn't you, but Mrs. Heber, why didn't you say my word? I must not have heard it.
He probably doesn't even know what it is.
No.
He just knows that sound.
Yeah. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. It does rhyme. So good job, smart kid, but clueless in his life. So I'm glad, but yeah.
So at least it wasn't on camera.
Oh my gosh.
I had a high school teacher that I filmed about a week ago, and she was talking to a high schooler. This is a sophomore class. And she was talking to them, and the kid goes, testicle, what are you talking about, testicle? And it's in the video. And I'm like, and district people have to see this. And I was like, and she was so embarrassed. I was like, it's okay. And in my head, I'm like, well, these people are going to see testicle. They're going to hear it in the video because I couldn't really edit it out. So I was like, she's an English teacher. She was talking about, I forget the novel she was talking about, but it had nothing to do with testicles. Nothing. And the kid goes, testicles. And I was like, I didn't hear it because it was across the room. And I was on the other side of the room with the camera. But she has a mic on her. And the mic picked it up. So yes, kids say the darnest things.
They do. Whenever we read about organisms in 5th grade, yep.
Yeah. I don't even feel like I would have known what that is when I was in 5th grade.
Last year, no one reacted last year. The year before and the one before that, they did. These kids know a lot, though. We didn't have phones. So we didn't have the World Wide Web at our fingertips at all times. We had the one family computer in this central location, and that was it. And I think Google, I heard that it only came out in 97.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in 6th grade, and no one knew how to use, you were still asking Jeeves everything. So, we had to learn how to search things. Now, if you don't know what it is, Google it. So kids know how to do it. It's a different world. So people just know what that stuff is now, especially if the kids have TikTok or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's going to come up on their FYP, not dirty sodas and teaching videos comes up on mine. That's what comes
they
up.
got a little different algorithm.
Yes. A little bit.
100%. Oh my gosh. I did think of y'all this week. I went into a 3rd grade class to film. And let me tell you, this class was the most adorable class, but they were funny. they were very aware of a camera in the room and they were so excited. Are you going to film me? Can you get me on camera? And I'm like, I'm here for your teacher. And then as I'm filming, they turn around, are you still filming? Like talking to me behind the camera. And it was just honestly the cutest thing. I would have loved to go back and hang out with that class. She's like, are you going to come back? And I was like, no, I don't think so. Their teacher did great. She was fantastic. Like I was engaged the entire time. She did such a good job. They were doing poetry. They also were doing rhyming, but not the kind of rhyming that you were doing. But it was really fun. And I was like, okay, maybe I could do like elementary third grade because it was just fun. But no, I thought of y'all this week when I was sitting in an elementary class and I was like, okay. And my boss was a former elementary school teacher and principal. And I went back to her and I said, okay, I get it. I get why y'all love it so much because that class like made me get it. I was like, okay, they were cute, they were fun, and they loved having me there. Can you film us more? And I was like, I gotta go. Yeah, they were precious, and they all had little attitudes, but it was just cute. It wasn't like attitudes in junior high that I was like, oh, they were cute little attitudes. So that was most of my week was tons of filming, but that was just one of like my highlights was that class. It made me think of y'all and I was like, oh, they're so cute.
Sometimes you get really good classes like that. And
I know.
sometimes you
So I
don't.
have to admit, so tomorrow we start our official switching of kids for our reading and math. And so like my class, I'm only going to have for 30 minutes when we do our science, our 60 minutes of writing, and then our 30 minutes of intervention. And for that whole 90 minutes of reading and that whole 75 minutes of math, like I'm going to have a different group of kids. I'm not going to have like my kiddos. And I'm like, I have a really good class and I really love like and some of those kids that I have like a really good connection with are going to be out of my room. And I'm like, I'm kind of having a little bit of a hard time, like with the fact that I have to share them. And I know some of the kids are too. In some of the other rooms, they're like, they don't want to, leave their teacher. In hindsight, I think what we're doing will be what's academically best for the kids. It's just going to be an adjustment and a change. So, but yeah, I'm kind of like, but my time, like when I do get them back, will be hopefully more valuable because we only have that small time. But yeah, we start that up tomorrow.
And how long is that going to go for?
I don't know. We're at least going to do it until we get information back from the first checkpoint or the second checkpoint to see how.
When is that?
Not until I think like December, but we're just now switching. So I don't know. They'll probably keep it going for a while.
Yeah. Usually with data, you need like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
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 Which is fine.
That's a long time. Yeah.
Because we'll probably, we'll probably be switching up kids. It won't so whoever I have for reading, I might not keep those same kids the rest of the year. Like we'll switch things up. Like we'll switch our groups up and.
So we have something super similar to that, but for all grade level bands, elementary, junior, and high school. And we call it power time. And based off data, that's how we put our groups together. So it sounds super similar to what you're about to do, Allyson. And I get not having your own kids and having to figure out these new kids. But I will say we've been doing this in our district for the last 4 years. And we've seen improvement and growth. Yes, right now it's going to be hard. Long run, it's good. And it's good for the kids. It's good for y'all. It stretches you for sure. And there's some groups that it was so uncomfortable for me. I was like, oh, I'm over this. But seeing the longevity of it and how successful it's been, I'm like, okay. But funny enough, in Texas, we were mandated to do this. This is a law that was passed for us. So it's called, they've renamed it, but it's a House bill. It's had 50 different names, but it's a House bill that's been mandated. So we have to do it. That's why we've been doing it for so long. So it does work. It's just, you're going to have some growing pains like anything.
And it will be nice to get to know the other fourth graders outside of just my classroom, on a deeper level. We'll all feel more connected in general in the fourth grade than just isolation in rooms. So, and I
You'll
think it'll
probably
be good for the
find
kids.
Yeah.
Because they'll get a change of scenery. They'll be shifting throughout the day. Less drama, hopefully. You'll probably find they're not with the same kid all day.
Yeah. Or the same teacher. You might find them be like, yeah, I get to be in Miss Ferrara's class. I'm so happy that I get to come in your room. Yeah. Because we started doing that last year in school. And that's huge. We had 7 homerooms in 5th grade, and they switched everyone around. Yeah.
Okay.
So that gets to be a lot, but then you get to teach a different group, just like a different level of kids. And are they giving you materials, or you have to come up
We
with
don't
it
even
on your
have a
own?
curriculum. We have no curriculum for
Really?
reading or math. No. So we
What?
had a
So ours would make it.
we have
I would
a
make
literacy
lessons.
team and a math team that like coaches that put together a map, a curriculum map. Now the math team made slides, which they're okay. I mean, we teach them because we have to. Reading, they gave us like, here's the standard, here's the time frame to teach it. Here's some resources. But we're basically creating everything on our own. Now we were dividing and conquering. So like I planned all of math. One teacher planned reading, one teacher planned writing. But now that we're differentiating our groups, like our reading is going to look different. Our math is going to look different from my room to another room. So it's not like we can divide and conquer anymore. So like I still today have to sit down and figure out what I'm teaching for reading and math this week based on the level of kids that I have.
Thank goodness that the
So-
Thanksgiving's coming up, because that is
Yeah.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Of change.
Well, that, and then I'm sorry, coming from a coach perspective and being a coach, no offense to other instructional coaches, but a good instructional coach is going to lay out a good roadmap and give you some examples. And especially if this is y'all's first time doing this, they're going to give you some lessons to work through. And so it just frustrates me. There's different expectations for instructional coaches across the nation, but I hate to say, the good successful ones come with things ready to go, because you can't leave your teachers like that. You're leaving them high and dry. Yeah, you gave them a roadmap, but you need to give them a little bit more, especially when you're first starting this. So I don't know. If I was a coach at your school, Allyson, I would give you more than just that. That's just me. And that's me being a coach for the last 3 years.
I just don't understand how you don't have curriculum for. I could understand
Well-
for one reading or math.
We are adopting. We just reviewed like 4 or 5 different curriculums. So we are getting a curriculum next year for reading.
What do you
Which
use?
one is it? I'm curious.
I don't know yet because we've looked at different ones. Trying to remember the list that we looked at. One was Amplify, one was Savvy, one was Mick. There was 2 different. Is it McLaughlin or Mick?
Houghton.
Hufflin.
Yeah, there was like 2 different.
Hufflin. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And there was another
You guys
one.
looked
I can't
at.
remember what it was.
We're looking at a new curriculum also for reading.
What do you guys use now?
Benchmark. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we spent a ton of money to get all of Fontes and Pinnell books, and was that like 3-4 years ago, and now that's been pushed to the side.
Yep. No more Fontes and Pinnell.
Yeah.
We use
spent
Hufflin
tons of money on
Mifflin, and there's another one. We use iReady a lot. Do y'all use iReady?
As supplemental.
Yeah, we're big on iReady. I'm trying to think of the other one. I can see it in my head. I've seen it, but we're not we're nowhere near an adoption year. I think right now, because there's so much up and down with the state of Texas and politicians and TEA, it's, like social studies will not get another adoption until, get this, 2030.
What? That's another 4 or 5 years.
You
And a
want to
lot
know
can
how old
happen.
our social? You want to know how old our social studies books are?
I bet it's pretty old.
Over 10 years old.
Oh my gosh. There's no more, that's it. Everything is now history. It's no longer current. Yeah.
So I'm just glad
Dang.
other state, y'all are still going through adoptions. Yeah, it's adoption years are weird and interesting and frustrating. I've been through a few of them. Yeah. So
Yeah, but anything that Florida adopts, it's usually a Florida made program. Because now every state has their standards, which are generally the same. But dang, so you got to make all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's exhausting. That is exhausting for teachers.
You know what though? I'm gonna
top of
rely on some
everything
IA
else.
to help me. An AI.
Yeah.
AI.
I mean, I know the standard.
Go to magic
I've got
school.
if I go to iLearn, it gives me the descriptors for the level of kids that I'm at. I can plug in some stuff, and that's what I'm going to rely on to help me to get started.
But yeah, that's just so unfortunate.
Look into Curapod with a C.
Theropod.
So CURIPOD, and they tie to different state standards across the nation. They are a Sweden company, but
done.
they
We're
have
good.
they're incredible, but they use AI, but then also it's very interactive for the kids as well. And I think it's really good for elementary and junior high. High school, not so much, but I see it more beneficial in like elementary and junior high. But look into that because some of it'll create lessons for you. It already has a bank of lessons. And it really good for math elementary because you can the kids can write. I don't know if y'all have iPads or what y'all have device wise on campus, but it's pretty user friendly.
Nice.
So look into that one.
I just
Even
typed it
though
in on
all
my
we're
brain.
even though
I pulled a Becky.
what we're
Let me look it up
doing.
really quick.
Excuse me for a second. Okay.
Hold on, let me look this up.
Even though all we're doing is 3 and 3 makes 6.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great for that.
Yeah,
It's great for that.
I don't necessarily need it because we have everything.
Well, and then if you do problems, it's AI will give instant feedback to the kids.
Yeah.
So it's good in that sense of like if you're working through some problems, but then it also sends you all of the reports of what they've done and how they interact with it. And so it's really good. We're trying to get it like fully approved in our district right now because yes, it does AI, but I'm like, look, this is one of the AI tools that I agree with and I think it's beneficial to a lesson. It's not going to take away, it's just going to add. So, and they do have good lessons in it as well.
Yeah. I actually also wrote it down for my husband because he does teach middle school. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah. He has a lot to fit in. But if you're going to do it, try to do it in a more interesting way.
For sure. Because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, am I just like talking to myself up here? Because the kids just like, especially with reading, when we read passages and have to answer questions, I'm like, I started getting to the point, I'm like, okay, guys, let's read this together. And they're like, do we really? I'm like, yep, we're going to practice our fluency in choral read. We're all reading it. So you're not just sitting there pretending to listen.
Yep.
Listen, unpopular opinion, but when my last district adopted like the basal readers again, and each kid had a textbook, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was there and they could refer back, and it helped with the skills of looking up details and with the writing and the vocabulary. I loved it. I loved it. You know why? Because that's how we grew up. We grew up with basal readers. And as a kid, I remember loving it. Here's my reading book. And now I'm going to read the next story. And my mom was a teacher and she had basal readers too. And she brought home the old ones after they were done with them. And I would do it in my room. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And they don't lose anything because it's a book and it's a hardcover book and it just stays at school.
Yeah.
But that's an unpopular opinion.
Versus me printing out a bunch of passages and piecing everything together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But my district also had like a higher end mall close to it. And so they had a lot of money that came like from the taxes from the mall. And so they had money to spare to buy all that. I mean, we did go a couple years without a math curriculum, but they had the money to buy, we have $150,000 extra dollars. I guess we're going to buy a new curriculum.
So that reminds me of that Abbott Elementary episode from last season when they're a lower income school and a golf course was coming in right down the street and building. And so they started like pretty much blackmailing the owner of the golf course of like, okay, well, we won't say anything if you give us. And so they started ending up with all these like nice computers and all this and that. And then the district got wind of it and was like, wait, what? Where are you getting this? And anytime they wanted something and the guy was like making them mad down the street, they're like, okay, well, you could just get us this, and this for the school, or the kids really need this. That's what it reminds me of.
Okay, Allyson, y'all need a golf course.
I guess. We do have a golf course not that far, but it's not going to happen. All of our money is going towards the high school right now, rebuilding the high school.
Oh, building a new high school or
adding on, remodeling. I mean, it looks like a college campus.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. We were supposed to add on. Our school was supposed to get, I don't want to say remodeled, but we were supposed to be like the next in line to do work, but it got pushed back because of they ran out of funds, and then they were having other issues with it. Yeah, it just.
Are you guys overcrowded?
Yeah.
Oh.
But next year, we're starting the whole open choice. I don't even remember if I told you guys this, where
Okay.
anybody within our district can come to any of the elementary schools. So before you had to live in that zone for that school. Now it doesn't matter if you live in another elementary zone, you can still come here. And then once they have those numbers figured out, people from outside of our district can start coming. So that, I think, because our enrollment has been decreasing year after year. So they're just trying to find ways to, and then they're going to try to start that's like the first step. And then they want to lean towards like specialized elementary schools. So like they would have a foreign language elementary that specialized in that. And they would have a nature one and all that. I'm like, that's going to make some major shifts, I would think, in staffing and busing. I don't know. That's down the road still, but
we have school choice here, and right now our school has 1,000 kids and growing, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I think pretty soon we're gonna have students in portables. We have 3 portables, but right now, like, yeah. Do you guys have portables?
No, but we should. We've asked for them for several years. We have a classroom right now that is in the old teacher's lounge, one that got put into our old computer lab room. We luckily still have a teacher's lounge. We had a year or two where we didn't even have a teacher's lounge because of the amount of classrooms we needed.
Yeah. But with school choice, they have to, like, they can choose not to take out of district people or out of like range people.
Yeah.
And they'll have to apply, like, your kids will be exempt because you work at the school, but yeah, after like a certain percentage or something like that. Yeah, because we have some kids who are from a different county come to us, but you have to apply for school choice and they could deny you. Because technically we're like, my kids are going to be there. It's not our home school. Yeah. But when I did live in Chicago and you could only go to your home school, when one school got too crowded, they redistricted the lines in order to make them even again. They changed them. And the exceptions were like, if you are going into 5th grade, you could stay at your school. Or if you have a sibling, like you're in 5th grade, but your sibling's in 2nd grade or whatever, your sibling could stay because they didn't want to do that. But yeah, they just redistricted. So that's interesting that they're moving to school choice. But I guess if you wanted like I was going to say magnetize your school. If you want to make a magnet schools, then that makes sense that you would need to do that. Yeah. Change is hard. Yeah. Okay, so Thanksgiving's coming up, and number one thing actually that I talk about with my weekday run partner is how much money she needs to pay for her whole family, 6 of them, to do a turkey trot. And like dead set on doing this one turkey trot in particular, which is like big and like kind of competitive because people are down in Florida visiting family and they want to do a turkey trot and they're just competitive. Like, what do y'all do turkey trots?
Oh yeah.
I've done a couple.
I do it every year.
Snow.
And no, more so than mine have been hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In sports bras and shorts, sweating. I think this year will be warm. They're saying a cold front's coming, but it won't come till like right after Thanksgiving. And I'm like, of course, whatever. I'm over this heat. Whatever the La Nina is, it's stupid. It's making it too hot down here. But my husband's running his first one this year, walking. I think the reason he's doing it is because now he works for the running store and we get so many bibs for free. And so he got his and mine. I was going to pay for mine regardless, but the store owner's like, no, Katie, we're going to get yours. I was like, okay, cool. So he's doing the 4 mile. I'm doing the 6 mile. Every year I've like placed in my age group, but this year I don't know if I'm going to like take off and go. I use it as a speed day workout because it usually falls on my track day. So I just use it as like a speed day workout and I go and, do what I can do and finish. But I don't know about this year. I mean, I'm going to go fast, but I don't like going to be like, ooh, let me go finish, because they took away age group plaques, like winners. So they only do overall and then masters. They used to do age groups, and I have a plaque from like a few years back, but the last couple years I was like, okay, I stayed for the awards. And I'm like, okay, do we get, and they were like, oh no, we just went to overall and then masters. Sorry. I mean, you did place, but you don't get anything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to bust my butt to place because I don't get anything out of it. So I don't know.
I mean, the good thing is you're not paying for it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was prepared to pay for it anyways.
yeah.
But if it's a bigger race and they get enough people, you would think they'd have the money that they could still do each divisions.
Yeah. It was kind of crappy.
Yeah, that sucks because it's fun to compete with your age level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That feels like the only fair way to do things.
And then on the course, I would like scope out around me who was around my age or who was like in front of me. And I'm like, I think I'm younger than you. I don't think you're in my age gap.
Isn't it funny?
So I would count and I would try to
Yeah.
figure it out. Everyone's like, are you serious? I was like, oh yeah. I'd scope out around me who was like around my age group and am I in front of them? Oh, they're not in my age group. I'm fine.
It's funny. That's
I
a
do
real
that too.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is. It is.
I'm like, okay. Oh, wait. They're way younger than me. Yeah, whatever. I don't really care. I'm like, oh, they look a little about my age. They're only a little bit ahead. I can do this. Like, or like everyone I would pass. I'm like, all right, there's one more. There's one more. Even if I'm not trying to place, like, was it back in March or April? I went up to Michigan and did a 10K. And I I stayed with my sister and her friend for like the first half and then kind of took off. It was like a 2-loop type of race. And so that second loop, I went kind of on my own pace and went ahead. But I wasn't like trying to place. I just wanted to get a good time. But I was like, every person I passed that was my age group, I'm like, yes, even though I wasn't trying to place. It's that feeling of accomplishment, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to do like our Fort Wayne Run Club, and they would do like a point system. And so for every race you ran, you got like, I think a point. And then if you placed, you got so many points. And so it was competition between all these like Fort Wayne runners that were part of the club. And then they had like an award ceremony at the end. And I was in that club and I was very competitive at the time. And I was always like scoping out, okay, which run clubbers are here? Who am I really competing with today? It got to be a real thing. This one girl and she was in the age bracket above me, and her and I would just like run together and keep each other accountable, but we weren't in the same age group. So it was like perfect. But I did end up winning, and I got a nice little blanket at the award ceremony. But that was pre-kids and pre-marriage. But yeah, so the best was when my husband and we did a turkey trot. It was the very first year we started dating, and he lives in Cleveland, or he grew up in Cleveland. So it was the first time ever going back to visit his family or to meet them. And we went out with one of his friends the night before, and he had a little bit too much to drink. And we got up and ran this turkey trot downtown Cleveland. I mean, he made it work. He sweated it all out. But I'm like, but it was fun to run one in a different state, like a different place than what you're used to.
I would like to do that because I've done the same route every year. And there are some runners in this community that are like, I don't want to pay for that anymore. And I'm like, I get that, but it's also the experience. It's the Thanksgiving Day morning tradition. Like, we always go out, and the people who are like, I can do it on my own. Okay, great. Go do it on your own. I'm still going to continue to give my money, run the race, but I would like to go run one somewhere else. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
There we go. My husband's not a runner, but when we were at his parents' house for Thanksgiving one year, I was like, I want to do this race. It was a 3-mile run. They did not even make it 3.1. So it wasn't a 5K. It was just 3 miles. And it was called like the chocolate turkey or something. Yeah, it was called the chocolate turkey. So it runs along the Illinois River, which is in central Illinois. And, I was like, okay, honey, like you can run it. Actually, I was like, let's jog because it was so cold. I was like, let's jog to the start line. Let's get warmed up. And he goes, okay, I'm already out of breath. Okay, good luck. Good luck in the race. And then I did put on a speed workout on my phone, and that's how I ran it. And so I got a pretty good time, but it didn't count for anything because it wasn't a 5K. It was a 3-mile run. I just don't understand why they didn't put that 0.1.
How many people though kept running to hit that 5K?
Oh, yeah, no, plenty of people.
Yeah. So I do that. So the turkey trot we do is 4 and 6 miles.
Yeah.
Put the 0.2. with the
Yeah.
point 20.
Oh,
So I can
yeah.
make it a 10K. So there was one year I was salty about it. And so I said, yeah, I'll take my medal. And I kept going. I took the medal and I kept going.
But yeah, it doesn't count for anything. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Mhm.
That's frustrating. The first race I did postpartum after I had my younger kid was in 2021. So all the races were for us were still virtual. And I'm a big Friends fan, like the TV show. And so all this stuff comes up on social media, the ads, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay for a virtual race, which is kind of dumb, but the swag was, well, because you're not in it with other people, and what are you paying for? You're paying for the swag. So at least in the middle. So at least the swag was good. It's a sweatshirt in like the Friends theme, but that one, I was like, I'm just going to see what I can do postpartum. So I had him October 13th of that year and then on Thanksgiving. So I was like probably just 6 weeks out. I was just getting back into running and I had a C-section. So I was like needing to get things in order before I could actually run. But because I was just out there on my own, that was it. But otherwise down here, I don't do any turkey trots because everyone's from out of town and that's not fun. I want just the local people. But I just do, because Thursday is a run day for me anyhow. I just go out and do it and enjoy. And then I come home and I start drinking. So, because we don't have anywhere to be, like, except for my in-laws. And I don't know, usually it's warm enough for us to swim. So it's like, go run and go swim.
Swim on Thanksgiving. That is unheard of.
We have to, like, the nights right now, like this right now it's mid 80s. This morning it was 50 degrees. So we have to heat the pool, like, because it's so cold from overnight. But yeah, like it's total swimming weather right now. Like, I know.
Yeah.
It's still, we put up our Christmas tree and it feels weird because it's not chilly. Like, but like it's almost Christmas time. Like we need to put our tree up. Yeah. It's warm. We were cold for a day.
Yeah, so were we. And then it went shot back up.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up having a 2-hour delay on Monday because of the snow. Because we had all that snow over the weekend. And then we ended up having a 2-hour delay on Monday. My poor boys, I was like scrounging to get them like into snow pants and stuff that doesn't fit. I'm like, all right, we need to go buy some new stuff. I haven't yet because the snow only lasted a couple days. But this week was cold. And then it like spiked back up. Yesterday was pretty decent. It was like in the 60s, which is chilly for you guys. But for us, it was like a warm, like heat wave again after the cold. We had like a little fire last night and then it's like dipping down again, but I can't even imagine.
I have a friend whose birthday was yesterday and she lives in Valparaiso and they came to Illinois to like spend time at a zoo, but she was like, it's so nice out. It's like 70. That is unheard of though for Midwest. Like that.
For this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unheard of, but I know it's dipping back down. That's all I hear about from people back home. Oh, it's warm now. It's warm.
It's that La Nina business. I don't like a La Nina.
I will never forget. So the year that I got married, one of my coworkers planned like a little bachelorette party for me up in Chicago. So it was like a group of us that worked together that were close. And we went up there in February. It was actually, I think, February 15th. And it was warm. Like we were walking without jackets in Chicago on February 15th.
When did you get married?
June.
No, but like
you're talking about year? 2017.
Oh. We got married in 17.
Where'd you go in Chicago?
Downtown Chicago.
Okay. But like where? You don't know?
I don't know. We stayed at this like Airbnb place that was above. It was funny because it was above the Fleet Feet running store, which is where my husband and I met, was through Fleet Feet running store. And that's what it was above. I don't know exactly the specific location because that's been like, 8 years ago. But we went and saw Tony and Tina's wedding. So
that's like fun.
A live interactive, like where you're part of the show. And like we went to like this little church for the actual wedding. And then we walked to this reception. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
That's cool. That is cool.
But the weather was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine wasn't. I got married in March and I had my bachelorette party. I mean, I lived in Chicago, but like we had it in the city and it was snowing the first week of March. Like,
Yeah.
you just never know. But of course, we didn't go out with jackets. We were just like, that's just how you were.
How dare, I mean, we, back then, like when we were in college, you didn't go out in a jacket even though it was freezing cold.
No.
You wore boots that hurt your feet and you didn't care. You like see those reels where they're talking about the girls that go out now are in tennis shoes and sweatshirt. Like
They didn't know the struggle.
No.
Yes.
And now look at us now. We're like sweatpants, shoes. Yeah. I'm not going out.
Yeah. Or at most, it was like your North Face fleece.
Oh my God, I love that thing.
Me too.
But then heaven forbid if something happens to it if you're at a party.
Oh, yeah,
that was true. The best investment.
Mm-hmm.
That was hands down, I think, one of the best things I ever bought. My mom was like, really, you want this? It's $100 jacket. I was like, trust me, Mom.
Every penny.
Every penny.
Yes.
Every penny. Yeah. I even wore it after college. I think it may still be in my closet.
Yeah.
I think it still may be in my closet. Like I don't think I've been able to like give it away. Have I worn it?
I think I still have mine too. I bet I could go
but I think mine's still in my closet.
So do I, but you had to have one. And it was like the black North Face fleece.
Yes. Yes.
And then we put hoodies on underneath and then put the fleece on when you got really cold. You put the hood out and like we just walked around school like that. And the Ugg boots and like,
or I wore the oversized shirts with the leggings and then I throw my North Face fleece on top of it.
That I didn't have. Do you remember? I just talked about this with my intern last week. She's 23 and I'm 39. So we're talking about and I was like, do you remember, maybe you don't because you're too young, but do you remember the debate where leggings are not pants?
Yes.
Like there was a very big controversy about
it still is.
It is. But now
because
athleisure is like a style.
So it's a debate on teacher dress code. And so it's like, well, can they be allowed to wear it? And it's like, well, you let them wear joggers. Like, why can't they wear leggings with, a bigger, like the other day when it was cold here, I wore my Spanx faux leather leggings and a bigger sweater. It wasn't huge. And then like a cute little flannel over it. And I could tell I was kind of pushing the limit on it. But people were like, but I wasn't on campuses. I was literally in my office building.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because I wasn't around kids. It wasn't like, but I'm like, why is it such a big deal?
Yeah, but we can wear skirts and dresses.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? There's no like, it has to be knee length or what. I mean, not in my district. There's no, I wore leggings to school on Friday just with a teacher tee and I'm here and I'm dressed.
Yeah, no, they don't allow it in my district and they like frown upon it. But there are certain campuses you can get away with it, which is weird.
Do they allow, because my husband started, so it's just warm here. And it's our 4th school year here, but this is the first year my husband started wearing dress shorts, like khaki shorts to teach.
Nope. And you would think because we're a hot place to live.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who teaches in Hawaii. He gets to wear dress shorts all the time. Like he wears like khaki shorts and a whatever button up. But he's on an island the whole time. Yeah. Florida totally makes sense. But why South Texas? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird. They said something about professionalism, but sometimes I think it's just an old school mentality that is still in place in that whole professionalism. And I'm like, look, kids are still going to take you. I can wear jeans and a t-shirt and a kid's still going to listen to me.
What do PE teachers wear?
They wear workout clothes.
My husband looks like he's going to play golf every day.
Man, I'm sure coaches here would love to do that, but they can't.
It's a collared shirt. He wears a collared shirt and he wears shorts every day this year. Never once before. He'd never worn shorts before to school. But this year he's like, PE teachers do. Women wear skirts. Women wear, dresses. Why can't I just wear shorts? So his principal hasn't said anything to him. But I don't know. Speaking of Thanksgiving and all the races and everything, but what about Black Friday? Before, I've seen memes about this. Don't you wish we could go back to the fighting over the, fill in the blank, the Martha Stewart, crock pot or like whatever. People would fight over these flat screen TVs. People would be lining up at midnight at Walmart and everywhere. But does that happen anymore? Like, I don't even
feel
go
like
out on
there's
Black
sales
Friday
all
anymore.
the time. Pre-Black Friday
Yeah.
sales, and especially like on Amazon. There's so many sales all the time that I'm like, is this Black Friday sale really that special? Or is it
And
just
then they're starting, some of them, they're starting this week. Lululemon sent me an email and said, we're starting our Black Friday Tuesday. Or no, tomorrow. And I'm like,
yeah.
but it's not even Thanksgiving week. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking a whole 2 weeks, but what? So I don't know. Okay, so my birthday always falls on Thanksgiving week. And there was one year that I was in high school and it was falling on Black Friday, but we were waiting in line at midnight for Target to open. So me and my friend were in line and we're talking to all the people around us. And I started telling people, oh, well, and I was like counting down to midnight because that was like my birthday. And I was like, 2 hours, it'll be my birthday. And I kept trying to like negotiate with people to let me move up in line because it was my birthday. And I was like, you should let me move up. It's my birthday on Black Friday. Just let me scoot on up. Nobody let me move. But I did get a little happy birthday sung to me too. It was kind of cool.
One year, Thanksgiving at my in-laws, at one point, my husband was like, I'm going to go out with my cousin. Do you want to come? And I'm like, no, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to start watching my Hallmark Christmas movies. You go have fun. I'll be asleep when you come back. So go. But they did. They like went out at 10 o'clock, waited a couple hours until midnight. And I think he like came home. We had it for many years. He came home with some ottoman for our couch. I was like, that's what you went for. I just wanted the experience. I was like, okay, I was here with my favorite blanket watching Hallmark Christmas movies and I'm good. I can never think about what to get.
No.
Like, and now that everything's on sale 2 weeks ahead of time, like, I don't know.
I'd rather just get it online. I am not a morning person and I don't like crowds. Like, I don't want to fight crowds. Like, the few times I've went with my mom and my sister, we went later. We like would meet at Panera, get a quick breakfast, and then do a couple places. Like, we've always had the tradition of doing a movie. Like, we go and see a movie. Ooh. But the shopping part, I'm just not a big shopper to begin with. And then the crowds, like, so this year, I think we're taking the kids to go see a movie. We might do that the day before Thanksgiving because Zootopia 2 comes out. And that is one of our favorite movies as a family. And we've been waiting forever for Zootopia 2 to come out. So we're super excited. So we'll probably do that as a family. My husband and I have always done a day date the day before Thanksgiving because our kids would go to the sitter because we still had to pay her. And we both had the day off. So we would always like have a little day date. We'd go to this Italian place, market, and have a glass of wine. And sometimes we'd go bowling. And I'm like, oh, we're not going to get to do that this year. I'm like, well, I probably could ask her to watch them. She probably still would, but I feel guilty. I'm like, so we'll just do a family day date.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be good.
Yeah, the kids are super excited about it.
We used to, so Macy's bought out Marshall Fields. Katie, do you know Marshall Fields? Okay. It must be Chicago based. But before Macy's bought them out, it was the start of, it's the start of Christmas season, the day after Thanksgiving, but they had all their windows decorated. So we would take the train downtown to State Street, which is like a pretty famous street in Chicago besides Michigan Avenue. And we would go see the windows, and that would be our Black Friday. And sometimes we would go like see the big Christmas tree in Marshall Fields. And I grew up Jewish, but we went to go do that. I have since converted, but that was always super fun. So I think maybe a couple years before we moved down here, we went and did that because we wanted our older son to be a part of the Santa train and do all that. But that was like our big Black Friday thing. You get like Garrett's popcorn is huge.
Oh yeah.
It's like a Chicago staple. So we'd get Garrett's popcorn. We'd go see the windows at Marshall Fields. But that was a big tradition on Black Friday. Seeing the tree lit up and like all that.
So this is not really a Black Friday tradition, but it's a Texas tradition down here. And it's going on currently this weekend. Yeah, y'all are like, what?
Like, what Texas
and it is
tradition?
Literally a Texas thing.
We cannot have an episode without a Texas something.
I'm so glad
No.
I didn't know about this because I would be anticipating the whole time. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's called the Nutcracker Market. And where our football stadium is, there's lots of halls, and it takes over 10 different halls. And it is the biggest Christmas market you have ever been to in your entire life. Women dress up in outfits, they tailgate beforehand with mimosas or wines outside in the parking lot. And then they go in, and it is like Christmas just threw up in 10 different halls. And it's crafts, it's foods, it's Christmas decor, clothes, and women spend thousands of dollars here. And so I used to go with my mom growing up. It was like one of our traditions, we'd go. But the crowds have gotten so large. A friend of mine, he moved down here. He works for NRG, and he helps staff the different places of NRG. And so he goes, Katie, what's this Nutcracker Market? And I said, oh, buddy. I said, you are in for it. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, people tailgate for this? I said, oh yeah, they camp out in parking lots. They take big party buses, all for this. And they'll spend 7 hours in this place just going through all the different like shops. And they drink, and so women are getting drunk, and sometimes you see women fighting over some things. It's really funny, kind of like Black Friday. And so I was telling him about it, and he goes, they're saying there's going to be at least 100,000 people that come to this thing. And I said, oh yeah. I said, they for sure will. Like thousands of people. And so today's its last day. I opted not to go this year. I just didn't want to deal with the crowds, because the older I've gotten the crowds, I'm like, nope, I'm good. But yeah, that is our like Texas-sized Christmas market, and it happens 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Of course it's big, because everything in Texas is big. I just looked up pictures of it.
Go on TikTok right now. There are TikToks of women before saying, okay, I hear her typing, where they say, okay, this is how much I think I'm going to spend at the Nutcracker Market. And then they come back later and they're like, my name's so-and-so and I spent $500, or my name's so-and-so and I spent this much money.
Well,
but
so
it
you
is
say they dress up. How do they dress up? Like as nutcrackers, or as
no, like holiday stuff. So I saw some pictures this
wow.
morning of women wearing like cowboy Santa hats, wearing the blinking light necklace things, wearing like these printed pants or dresses. There was one group of ladies that dressed up like Grinches. Yes. So it's crazy. It's a huge thing, and people go every year and spend thousands of dollars. But yeah, it's definitely probably one of like the more crazier holiday traditions we have down here.
Okay, now I just
yeah.
I googled it, but now you said go on TikTok, so now
TikTok is far better. You're gonna see all the funny.
Your algorithm is going to be showing up.
So it's good that it's not here, because I have to like be on repeat. Becky, you cannot get any new Christmas shirts. You cannot make any new Christmas shirts. You cannot, because during the month of December, it's so easy to get dressed, because every day I just wear something like, because our dress code is so relaxed. Mm-hmm. I have built up my Christmas t-shirts, and I have a couple like Christmas running sweatshirts and everything, and I'll wear those too. But I would love this. My gosh, it's so good. I'm not in Texas. My God.
I mean, but it happens every year. So if you want to come down next year.
Okay, so when people travel just to go to this.
They do.
Oh, I bet. They do. When you say hall, in my head, I'm thinking hallway. But this is like a, what's it called? Like a conference hall.
Yes, like
a banquet.
10 conference halls.
Yeah, yes. Like a banquet hall. Yes. Mm-hmm. Like a convention center.
Yes.
Yeah. Holy cow. I would want to buy so much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
there's these girls doing some stretches.
Holy cow.
Because you got to wear comfy shoes. You do not. Yeah. There was one that was like, I'm going to spend $30. And I was like, girlfriend, no, you're not. $30 is your drink. Oh, there was one girl yesterday I saw, she spent $150 on drinks alone. I was like, you drink that much?
What was she getting?
I don't know. But she spent $150 on drinks.
No, this one TikTok says Nutcracker Market. 8 hours. 41,472 steps taken. 1,953 spent at Royal Standard, 11 mimosas consumed, 21 soup packets purchased, 1 nap in the parking lot, 11 texts saying, "Where you at?" 0 custom trucker hats made. That's her recap. I learn something new about Texas every week. I love it. Clearly, I live in a wrong state.
Next time I have another tradition as well that Texans do for Christmas, but I'll tell that one next week.
Yes.
Because Nutcracker Market's going on right now, so it's just funny because I want to share that.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait.
Well, I mean, you have to get ready for Christmas, I suppose, so it makes sense that they have it now.
Mm-hmm.
But like then there's also all these reels where you could buy stuff from the Dollar Tree instead of like Hobby Lobby, and you're making a Grinch Christmas tree is one that I saw for $15 as opposed to $70.
Yeah,
from Hobby Lobby. But this is no Dollar Tree.
That's no dollar.
What is Dollar Tree? Oh my god.
That is like overstimulation.
Do you have to pay to get into it?
Yeah, you got to pay $20 in.
Oh, okay. That's for as big as it is. $20
I feel like
feels
it's acceptable.
A lot. No, I think $20 is acceptable for how big this is.
Now, if you do get early bird, sometimes like the ticket prices are lower. There's people who will like buy in bulk too, like if they buy multiple tickets, because there's women that'll go anywhere from like 5 to 20 people in a group together.
Sure, you're bringing a party bus.
Yeah, bringing a whole party bus. They'll buy their tickets in bulk, and I think it's cheaper that way. But no, my friend, he went and he took his wife on Friday, and I saw him yesterday. We ran together, and I said, "So is your wallet crying this morning?" And he goes, "Not too terribly." He was like, "It was okay. We didn't do too bad." I said, "Oh, good." He goes, "But it's a lot." And I said, "Mm-hmm." I said, "It is a lot."
This is insane. It's going to show up on my FYP.
It is.
Mm-hmm. My mom would be in heaven. My husband would be like, "You are not going there. You are not spending anything."
Oh, I took Omar one year, and he was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "I don't ever need to go again. I'm good."
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and we were there for like 2.5 hours. We weren't even there for like people who were there for like 6-7 hours. We were there for like 2.5, and he was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good."
Crazy. So all of our listeners need to go look up the Nutcracker Market in Houston if you don't know what it is.
Because it is crazy.
And then you'll just have to be prepared to sit for an hour and watch everything. My goodness. This is awesome. I love it. I love it. I love Christmas season. It is my favorite time.
Me too. Me too. I love Christmas.
There he is.
Yeah. Do we love it for ourselves, or do we love it for our kids and all the other things? I feel like as a kid it was so special, but even as an adult now, it's like I feel like I love it more like for my kids.
I'm gonna
like
say
my joy
both.
is bringing the joy to my kids.
I'm gonna say both because I remember celebrating my first Christmas because I was an adult. I didn't celebrate it until I met my husband, and that was like we were out in the country, and it was a white Christmas, and it was the first time that I had been to church, and so for that I love it. I mean, obviously for my kids too, but I'm still like I've only celebrated as much as a teenager has. You know, like for the last 15 years is when I've been celebrating it. So it's been a lot of change now that we have kids and we're creating our own traditions. So I'm going to say both. Yeah. And now being in kindergarten, it's going to be a lot different.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be so much fun. And I cannot wait for Friday when I can set my tree up and they're not going to be confused about like what holiday are we celebrating. So we'll finish with Thanksgiving, and then Friday afternoon I'll set up the tree while they're in the room and they'll get excited, and then we'll come back and I'll only wear holiday stuff, Christmas stuff from December 1st because we go back to school on December 1st, and then all the way through the 19th when we have our Christmas show. And then I said, okay, you guys, you can go home after your Christmas show. No. Yes.
Please go home.
Yep, you can go home in the morning, you guys. You don't have to spend a whole day here. Yes. So comment on our Instagram and let us know what you all do for Thanksgiving and getting ready for Christmas. We want to hear all about it, and we will give you a shout out on our next episode. And we love you all.
Thanks for sipping and sharing a moment with us today. We can't wait to keep showing up with you each week. Messy, caffeinated, and real.
And if you liked what you heard, we'd be so grateful if you'd follow, subscribe, or share this with your teacher, bestie, mom, group chat, or training partner, or all three. It helps more people find our little corner of chaos and connection.
And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Espresso Yourself Podcast. Tell us what resonated, share your own stories, what topics you want us to cover, or just come say hi.
Make sure to hit follow so you don't miss next week's episode.
Until next time,
Keep showing up.
Keep giving yourself grace.
And espresso yourself.
one sip at a time.
Cheers.